We're talking about the one, the only Aaron Rodgers. He has emerged from his darkness retreat. He has emerged from what actually looked like a place in Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit hole. We actually have footage here, and there is a description of what it was. We're going to bring it up right now. The 300 square foot room in which Rodgers spent his time is a partially underground structure devoid of light. With a queen bed, a bathroom, and a meditation-like mat, it is fully powered, and the lights can be turned on from inside the room. That is according to Sky Cave Retreats owner Scott Berman, and these are from Front Office Sports on Twitter. These images that we have obtained, which, I mean, it looks pretty quaint. There's your little...
That's pretty cool, actually.
It does look pretty cool.
I don't know if I want to spend 4 days in there by myself with the lights off.
Well, you could turn on the lights, which I think actually sort of defeats the whole purpose. I thought he was in
the darkness. I thought it was supposed to be a darkness retreat.
It is, but I guess you have the opportunity to turn on the light. Oh. It's part of the experience, but it looked like a hobbit hole. That's what it looked like, snow covering it.
Where was it located?
I believe it's Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. Oh. So he was literally in the middle of nowhere.
Is it his place, or did he rent it?
You could actually rent this. I believe the first availability is in October. It's booked until then. So
I don't think I'll take him up on it.
Oh, you don't want to live in a hobbit hole for X amount of time?
No, I'd go crazy being in there.
To find your inner self?
Yeah.
Gain a sense of clarity?
I found my inner self already.
So, of course, Aaron Rodgers has until, the new NFL year, which is March 15th, to make a decision whether or not he wants to stay playing in the NFL, stay on the Packers, or decides he wants to take his business elsewhere and join a different team via a trade. So I'm going to ask you, what team do you think Aaron Rodgers, or if he'll even play in the NFL, what team do you think he'll play for in 2023?
The Jets.
Really? Ooh, interesting. Why do you think the Jets?
They have Nathaniel Hackett as their offensive coordinator.
Well, look how good that ended up for the Broncos.
I know. Well, I'm just saying that Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett had good success together.
Right.
So, I think that's one reason the Jets went and got him, which surprised me a little bit, given how poorly he did as a head coach, Who knows? Maybe the guy's on the downswing. I don't know. But I thought that was probably the main reason they went and got him. That's going to entice Rodgers if the Packers want to trade him, that the Jets would be right up there at the top. So I think they're the one in the driver's seat, and they're the ones that can pick up a $50 million contract per year for 2 more years, right?
Right.
And I don't know. I don't think he'll play more than 2 more years. I think he'll play out this contract. Depending on how well he did, somebody will probably offer him another big contract because, look, Tom Brady made it to 45. Aaron Rodgers seems more mobile now he seems very mobile, actually. He doesn't seem like he's lost anything, right?
Well, compared with Tom Brady...
Well, Tom Brady was not that different kind of quarterback. Aaron Rodgers still seems very mobile to me.
Right.
So I think he's going to play. Who's going to give up $100 million, right? I just don't see him doing that. It doesn't seem like anyone would do that. So I think he's going to play. I think there's a fair chance the Packers will trade him. And if they do, I say he's going to the Jets. What do you think?
I'm sticking to my guns here. I'm sticking to my guns. By the way, Rodgers has $60 million or $59.465 million guaranteed if he does play next year or this upcoming season. But I'm sticking to my guns. The Packers are the best situation for Aaron Rodgers because they have a better O-line than the Jets. The Jets have injury pieces and still need to tack on 1 or 2 more pieces. The Packers, you can compare the wide receivers. I think the Jets may beat out the wide receiver room than the Packers have. But the Packers have the 1-2 combo of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, which the Jets don't have. They got Breece Hall, who's a very, very good running back. But we're taking a look at the 1-2 punch. That's where actually they found that 4-game success, which was in the defense and the run game. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers. And besides, there's a huge part of Aaron Rodgers that is, in control of the way that organization runs. He has them by the throat, essentially, with this retirement stuff. He's been mentioning retirement for 3 years now, and the Packers are at his basically at a whim right now. They're like, well, please, Aaron Rodgers, come back. We'll give you what you want. They wanted Randall Cobb, brought back Randall Cobb.
I don't know. I hear that they are kind of soured on him.
Well, guess what? They're a few years too late. They should have got rid of him last year. I still think they should.
They may give. what's his name?
Jordan Love.
Yeah, a chance.
They should, and they
They're going to
should
show him some love.
They should have at the end of last year, or at least when the Packers were what, like 11% chance to.
I do
playoffs?
think the Packers made a mistake in giving him a 3-year, $150 million contract.
That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. Like I said, the Packers do anything for one Aaron Rodgers, and that's why I think it's the best situation for him. You know, he's played what 18 years.
They
there?
may not think so though. Maybe the Packers don't think so. Maybe they'll think, yeah, he wants to come back to us. We're going to trade him.
Hey, you know what? That would be a smart move, but you're a year late on that. Now Aaron Rodgers, you're a year late.
They should be able to get quite a bit for him.
I don't know. I don't think he's at the top because I think this season.
You don't think they can get a first-round draft pick for him?
Maybe one, but we're not talking about what could have been last year where there were reports about multi-first round.
The Jets will give him a lot. They'll give a lot to the Packers to get him.
Well, what was it? Last offseason, we talked about QB or not to be when Nathaniel Hackett went to the Broncos, and we thought, oh yeah, he'd go to the Broncos because of Nathaniel Hackett, his former OC. It looked like people were ready to move heaven and earth to try to get Aaron Rodgers. Now you see this year, I don't think people are as inclined. And he's a year older. He's 39 years old. I don't think people are as inclined to pay the big bucks for Aaron Rodgers as they were last year.
Maybe not. He didn't have that great a season last year.
And I think it would be much, much smarter for the Jets to stick to a Derek Carr or a Jimmy G, who you don't have to give up literally anything besides money to get them for.
I'd say it's Derek Carr.
Derek Carr over Jimmy G, I agree with you there. But if we're talking about Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr, yes, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Derek Carr. I think that's undisputed. You can't even debate that.
Probably not as good a teammate.
Well, that I agree with you on. And Aaron Rodgers does not work well with young receivers. Creates basically no relationship with his young receivers. Which is what the Jets
have.
The Jets, I believe, are trying to build a culture, and Aaron Rodgers comes in there. He'll
disrupt it.
I don't think he's really, let's be honest here. He's not a great culture builder. I mean, Devontae Adams, his most productive player in probably his entire career. The first chance he got to leave Green Bay, he took it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. How can you do that if you have such a great culture? I mean, Aaron Rodgers doesn't work in the offseason. He doesn't show up to OTAs. I mean, we had two brand new receivers that, people were begging for. Aaron Rodgers was begging for new receivers, a first-round draft pick receiver. Give him some pieces to work with. Well, the Packers drafted Romeo Doubs, who, had his ups and downs here. And they also drafted a 6'5", 230-pound receiver that also runs a 4.3 40 time, which is incredibly fast and incredibly big receiver.
Dropped some balls.
He had one bad drop. However, there has to be a little bit of blame on Aaron Rodgers for the way things transpired early in the year. Was there a bad drop on Christian Watson? Yes, but they had zero rapport to know where you need to be exactly at what time you need to be at. It's just as simple as that. And it took them, 8, 9, 10 weeks to finally figure that out. And by then, you had a 12% chance to make the playoffs? Meanwhile, if you actually had an offseason and you worked with your young receivers, you may have had a 40, 50% chance to make the playoffs at week 10 or 11. But instead, you had no rapport. You guys were off target on some throws. Aaron Rodgers, like I predicted in our, we should have done the retrospect Harvey Hot Takes, which we'll do sometime soon, I think. I said Aaron Rodgers will have 10 plus interceptions. I believe he ended with 11 or 12. So
you got it right.
Yeah, I was very happy with that because I didn't think it was all Devontae Adams. That's all the production was. So without him, he wasn't going to trust nobody. Yeah. And we saw they literally.
Well, he should have been smarter than that. He should have spent the time with the young receivers. Yeah. It would have paid off.
And look at the Jets all have young receivers. They got Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore.
Instead, he went out there without working out with them, and then they didn't do so well, and he criticized them, and that made it even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not a great team player. That's not his forte. He's kind of a loner.
Yeah.
He likes that image, I think, of loner.
He's definitely
go into the darkness. Outlier. He went into the darkness retreat, right? Yeah. That's a loner type
4 days, 4 nighs in the middle of nowhere in a hobbit hole. Yeah. That's where he went.
I wonder who was delivering his food.
I think this company is a part of that.
Do it.
I believe I saw there's like a medicine cabinet that could slot in food and then you close it to keep the darkness in. They open it from the other side. They put the food in. They shut their side, and then Aaron Rodgers takes his food. I'm pretty sure that's how it would work. But hey, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's a character to say the least.
That's true. He's a loner. Yeah, that's what I think, and he likes that image.
So you think he'll go to the Jets? You think he'll skip over the Raiders and play with Devontae Adams again?
I do think so.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think that Josh McDaniels is. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is his kind of quarterback.
I could probably get down with that, but I think Rodgers.
I think Josh McDaniels is probably wanting Jimmy G because he fits in there salary wise.
Yep.
He knows Josh McDaniels' system.
Yep.
He's a capable quarterback.
Yeah,
and they have a lot of pieces around him. They have quite a few pieces around him. A great running back and one great receiver and a couple of really pretty good ones. Darren Waller's a very good tight end.
Yep.
Right.
And he also got 100 Renfro.
I think that's the route they're going to go. They can save about $30 million a year by going with him instead of Aaron Rodgers.
I could agree with that, but
plus they got to give up probably draft picks or something to get Aaron Rodgers too. It's not just a salary. They're going to have to give up something.
They'd probably
have to give up something very good, right?
Most likely, but I still think you could probably get him for what, a second and a third, maybe. Maybe I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I mean, you have to eat that big salary. That's the thing, you know.
You do. But I think Aaron Rodgers fits in more with the Raiders persona than he does with New York.
Oh,
football.
yeah, with the persona-wise, you're right. Image-wise, there's a bunch of loners on the Raiders team. They kind of
a historically dysfunctional franchise. And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, first of all, any team he goes to, there's solid evidence that even if you make the playoffs, you may be one and done when you're in the playoffs. Because that's just what Aaron Rodgers has been.
Yeah.
Since, I'm not going to put this on Pat McAfee show, but since joining the Pat McAfee show 2 years ago, not won a single playoff game. Not a single one, because I think he's more focused on creating headlines than he is about actually winning big-time games.
He likes doing State Farm commercials.
Yeah, he loves doing those. Loves getting his personality out there. So I'm sticking with the Packers because you know what? He's holding the Packers by the throat and saying, do what I want or else I'm gone.
Yeah.
And the Packers are like, we can't really give you up. You're your first ballot Hall of Famer.
How many years has Jordan Love played now? 3?
Yes.
Was this his third year or his second
They
year?
need to make a decision on whether or not they're actually going to play him because I believe his 5th year contract, they need to, say, do you want or are we going to give it to you?
They really don't know much about him.
They know
pretty
nothing.
Small sample size.
You had an opportunity when the Packers were statistically, mathematically, they were not out. But they were basically out. You needed a miracle to happen, and you couldn't beat the 32nd ranked defense in the Detroit Lions to basically, create a miracle there.
Yeah.
And make it to the playoffs. So I think you had an opportunity the last 5 or 6 games to play Jordan Love, sit Aaron Rodgers, and then you know what? You can move off to him. If Jordan Love is really that guy, then you play him next year. But now you come into this year saying, well, he looks better in practice, but in the real time game, there's not really much we can do. And also, I found it very funny. NFL did their top 100 plays of this year. Jordan Love was above any Aaron Rodgers play this year. That one throw against the Eagles to Christian Watson that went for a 45, 50-yard touchdown. It was a simple pass, but it made 60 or 71 on the list. That was higher than any Aaron Rodgers play in the entire season. So I just found that a little bit interesting. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.